Everybody, welcome to the November energy update. Now, I'm going to actually send you over to the real energy update, but I forgot to add something that I wanted to at the end. So I'm giving this to you in the beginning. So in the November energy update, there's a part where they speak to 3D action or being involved in a way that makes sense to you. I'm going to share something that some of you might be interested in because I don't know how well known it is, but they have definitely grown over the last 10 years. As many of you know, are starting to know, there is food insecurity in the United States. Now, granted, this is in other countries, but I'm in the United States, so I'm basically speaking to that. However, this organization I'm going to give you actually works in 4 different countries. That said, if you are looking to do something and you love to cook for others, there's this organization called lasagnalove.org. I was in it about 5 years ago, and then I just didn't have time and I had other things going on, and now I want to get back involved. So anyway, I'm starting to sign up again. Lasagnalove.org is the coolest thing in your community. What they'll do, well, you sign up online, and then what you do is you get matched with someone who is signed up as a recipient and a need for food. And then you bake your lasagna recipe and you connect with them, talk with them how to deliver it, how to, like what ingredients maybe they can't eat. But oh my gosh, it is so wonderful. I did this for a couple of years, and you can sign up as frequently as you want or infrequently as you want. I think I was doing it every 3 weeks or every month. But you get to meet these people, and it is so heartwarming. It's a wonderful way to contribute during a time of such great need, and that need is going to increase, as we all know, in our current political climate. That said, there are other things you can do too. And I'm giving you the things that are interesting to me and that I love and that you may also be doing. But the other thing that's happening in my community is a lot of people are using their neighborhood like little libraries to create a food pantry instead, and putting in cans of food so that people can take it. Oh, I just got chills on that. That's so interesting. Other things you can do is, you can create your own food pantry too. And you can look that up online and see how that's done. But that's another big thing that's happening in our community here. And there's a lot of action in my community, a ton of people doing new things. We also have a community action center, a community crisis center, where they provide meals for so many people in the community and groceries. So you can donate to your local, community food pantry. So think about that too if you really want to do something. And again, you can do it at the level that makes sense for you. All right. But anyway, I really wanted to mention lasagnalove.org. The information is below. You'll see it here. And with that, I hope that you enjoy the November energy update and that you take something away that resonates for your journey. Thank you. Hi, everyone. We are here for the November energy update, heading into the end of the year already, which I got thinking about this the other day. And it's just like sliding into home stretch because, we know something is being offered up in 2026. And I was even seeing this earlier in the year than I normally would, April timeframe. Now, granted, that's eclipse season. As I've always said, I don't know whether it will be energetic or it will materialize, but we're heading into like a couple of years of super significance. Now, this one has been as well, but our split is really significant. The split that's happening, older, newer idea, right? But at the same time, what they've shown me is, as I've said, I think I said before, the puzzle pieces are all up in the air. And everything that I've seen so far is they're still up there. In fact, I think there are going to be more puzzle pieces joining them. Anyway, so welcome to the energy update. I was thinking today, it's just kind of funny. I was like, this background that I have here, my office, most of my office is up front that you can't see. But I'm like, you know what? I'll probably be 90 channeling energy updates and you'll still see the same thing. There's probably nothing going to change. Like this fire, what is that? Bell thingy. that doesn't work. I have other ones in the house, but anyway, so that's going to stay undone. Otherwise, it beeps all the time. I'm just like looking at this, going, they see the same thing all the time. But you know what? That's not why you're here. You're not going to see much of a different background ever, unless I move, which I have no intention of doing. Anyway, I just got thinking. I thought that was kind of funny. So something I wanted to mention that came through, and some of you noted this in the comments from the last energy update. And I think most of you know, and I've said this, I don't watch other channelers. I just don't. I don't watch other YouTube stuff. I just do not. What shows up for me is meant to, and that's very little. I don't watch news. But I get what I need to, if that makes sense. I get enough, but it's not me going out and seeking it. Anyway, it was super fascinating after the last energy update when I talked about Atlas. Those of you who watch this, Atlas carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. You wouldn't believe it. Then a couple of people mentioned, hey, do you know about 3i Atlas? And I'm like, I'd heard 3i Atlas, and honestly, I didn't have a clue what it was. I'm like, okay, I need to look this up. Well, I looked it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so wild. Lo and behold, I ended up with, you know how synchronicity works in this journey, like the next week later, getting other references that would show up magically about Atlas, but not 3i Atlas. Atlas, the god Atlas, and Atlas, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, that really was significant in that last session. So whether we'll talk about that this time or not, I don't know. I usually come into these sessions with notes of things they've brought into me, but I just decided I'm just going in to it. We're going to see what happens. So I have no clue what we're going to be offered today at all. So anyway, I hope you guys have been doing well. And it's just weird to think it's already November and we're coming into the portal 1111. We had our 1010 portal. As I have mentioned previously, the later months of the year are where they've always shown me the ramp up of the portal. It's kind of like, it's kind of like, even though we're on a Gregorian calendar, it's still significant because we've created energy around that kind of calendar system. But the point in it is as we ramp up through the year, the only time they really start to bring in the portal dates, the 6, 6, 7, 7, 8 is 8, 8. And then they really bring them in for the rest of the year. Not always in my channeled messages, but they are significant. And I think it's the accumulation of energy as we move through the year. And then it's not like we start over. It's an accumulation process, but this year has been really interesting. And like I said before, we have eclipse seasons all the time. So a lot of people be like, so what? We got another eclipse season. What's the big deal? Oh, it is a big deal. All these events that we have, all these portal dates, because it is an accumulation of energy. It depends on also where we're at. Collectively speaking, it depends on where the stars are aligned. It depends on all these things, right? And so there is an uptick and a movement each time we go through this. So they're not the same. They offer some of the same opportunity, okay? Like, for example, eclipse season is kind of an upside down, like showing you what you haven't seen before, or you've seen and you've let it be unseen, if that makes sense. So anyway, kind of the upside down. But how that actually plays out can be different every time, and the strength of it as well. So we're really marching through a time of okay, so what they're showing, I guess maybe we're going into this. They just said the great unknown, and that is so true. So there's many, many, many people out there, and you can argue I'm doing the same thing, but in a different way, bringing in the energy that have created a lot of storyline around what is happening and what is going to happen. But every indication I've been given is no one has it all. No one has it all at all. We all have puzzle pieces. This is why the puzzle pieces are up in the air, and all the new puzzle pieces, there are new puzzle pieces coming too. Nothing's landing yet is what I'm getting. And when I say nothing's landing, you know how we've talked about how we are creating our new earth through our frequency and vibration, right? This is how this works. And remember, I'm talking to the light worker community, people who are awakening. Most of you get this or are in the beginning stages of this and starting to understand what's going on. So remember, I'm talking to you guys who kind of get the connection to all of this and how it relates. But the thing is, we're moving into, again, uncharted waters where, okay, what are they showing me? I'm going to probably be just kind of, it's going to be different channeling, I'm sure. I don't want it to be disjointed, but sometimes they very much use metaphors and riddles, and lots of times I try to put the story together, but I don't always have the story too. And it kind of makes it more fun this way, honestly. They did tell me at one point that that's how they were going to work with me in the very beginning, because they didn't want me to get bored. So I get bored pretty easily. So I think it's fascinating how they work with me. Anyway, point is they're working with all of us this way now. So uncharted waters, I'm seeing the dark of the night. The visual representation they're giving is we are on like a canoe. Why are they bringing in the Potomac? I don't know. Okay, maybe it's a representation of a river, but anyway, but they're showing that kind of look and feel of like the hats that were worn then, back in the days of the founding fathers kind of thing. Oh, okay. But they're showing in the dark of the night, like moving through the dark of the night, and I'm getting uncharted waters, but they're going up. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be able to explain this, okay? They're going up the Potomac. I don't know. They're going up the Potomac, but it also feels like a founding father feel. A founding, or those early days. There's something going on with this, which if we want to try to put the story together, you can argue that makes a whole lot of sense for the United States right now. Whatever your take on it is, right? But what does that mean for us? They just said traveling upstream, so they're not traveling downstream. Okay, the new times to come will not be what you expect in the 3D understanding of what many have. Okay, this is why it's the upside down. You know, the movie Stranger Things. They bring that in a lot. So they've brought in upside down. We're just going to go with this, and I'm going to try to give you the energy for October too, obviously. But I want to give you what they're bringing through. So this is very much a visual of going upstream in the dark of night. Unfolding what is not seen. Okay, that's the upside down kind of thing. Unfolding what is not seen for the way forward. The journey is long and arduous, and it's completed often in the dark of night. Oh, so they're talking about in your own travels. Okay, hold on. This is new, or like, okay, so this is Founding Fathers. This is, okay, dark of night. There's something going on with nighttime sleep and the work that, set aside the Founding Father idea here for a minute, but this has to do with the United States, very much the United States, very much the United States, but it also has to do with what's being accomplished in the astral as we sleep, or some people sleep, and what's being done here. Hold on a second. I may be taking more breaks in this channel so I can get the visual figured out. Traveling upstream, bringing the new cargo that will unfold for the journey forward. It is long and arduous, but you will make your way through the dark of night. You are the Founding Fathers. Oh, I just got chills. Okay, hold on. Think about this. You remember how they've always said to me, this is a grassroots effort coming from the common human. We're the Founding Fathers and mothers, but let's just go with this for a minute, right? The Founding Fathers of this new time to come. But you're traveling upstream now, against the flow. Think about this. The flow right now is all of this cacophony out there, and there's a lot. Believe this, believe that. Don't do this, don't do that. And it's very 3D, right? Now there's purpose. I don't want to get into that 3D thing, because there's a lot going on there that some of us are meant to be active. Others of us are getting sucked into, we're the savior. We're the Founding Fathers of the new time to come. We're the Founding Fathers of the new United States, if you want to call it that. Now, remember, this is going to affect the rest of the world. What happens here is an influencer. We're already an influencer, not in a great way, I'm just going to say. Some of you may feel the opposite, but I'm going to tell you right now, the energy that we present out to the rest of the world, that's changing. Okay? That's going to be changing. And it doesn't, how do I explain this? No one knows what will be now. We're the founding fathers. We're the new founding fathers. For those of you not from the U.S., the founding fathers were the ones who created our democracy, the Constitution, all that fun stuff that we live under, right? But interestingly, too, wow, in another client's session, what came through, which is coming through now, is interesting. The visual of the going up the Potomac, the founding fathers, the visual of like a, I don't know if it's a George Washington hat, it kind of cap, you know what they wore? I'm seeing that, and it might be him, but I don't know. Anyway, the point is founding fathers. We're founding. We're doing this by our frequency and our vibration. We're doing this, and sometimes you can sit there and go, "What are we doing? What is this? Look what's happening out there. I need to go do a thing. What do I do?" And feel hopeless. No. I mean, I even go through that, right? Excuse me. I do this work all day long. I'm in this space all day long and doing my part. But I live a 3D life too, right? And sometimes I think, I get this far into it and I think, what is this all about and for? But no, I always come back to its frequency vibration. It is. It literally is. And we are creating that new earth, but we're creating it through this United States. And here's the thing, what I was going to say earlier and then jumped off into this is what came through in this one session, which is coming in now to talk about, is there are holes in our structure of our legal system, our Constitution. And some of you may go, what are you talking about? There are. There's something missing. There was a compromise. I don't know my history, I'm going to tell you, but I keep getting, there was this, and I was getting this then. There was a compromise made. Has holes in it. It is not what it was intended to be. And now we're going through the breakdown, seeing where the holes are. We don't always totally understand what that means, right? But we're the founding fathers, again, of this new time, of this new utopia is what I'm getting. Remember, we're at the beginning stages of this. A lot of us can think, well, this is going to happen overnight and we're all going to know and it's going to happen soon. Things are accelerating, but this is a journey over time. It is just a journey over time where the universe will come in also and do as it does in our individual awakening journey, in what they call, I should say, a Rubik's Cube moment. Like we're plodding along doing our thing, right? And we're kind of thinking, gee, I wish this would change faster. And then suddenly, Rubik's Cube moment, which is like a whole bunch of stuff that you've either been working on or doing changes and shifts, and you're like, oh my God, I'm in a new place. Like, whoa, how did that all happen? Literally in like 24 hours kind of thing can happen. And you've all probably, I shouldn't say you all, you will see it as you need to, but we'll also get that in the collective, okay? So what happens or will be happening in the collective is like these Rubik's Cube moments, okay, that are going to make a marked shift, either vibrationally, but I'm also getting more of like a 3D way, but they are spread out over time as we continue to grow in our magnetism and we bring more along. Now, I know there's that whole idea of the 100th monkey idea, right? And we're magnetic and whatnot. And that is very true. But at the same time, this is a process over time where we continue to accelerate and grow in our love frequency, our consciousness, our awareness, and as we do that, we will see unfold the visual representation of that kind of life we wish to live. So we are visualizing, those of us who are doing this in the beginning, seeing, feeling, knowing what we want to see, what kind of life we wish to live. And many of us are able to see this happen in our own life, having visualized, having dreamed, having thought about things that you wish could be in your journey in a way that is conducive to you energetically, right? Not in a desperate kind of way. And you've started to see those changes happen. You've started to see changes happen. Yes, they can be gradual, but you see how you're supported and how it happens. And when we do this on a collective level, that's where how we move into this new earth space, this space of, then we all start living from a different place. Individuals start moving inward and understanding who they truly are, right? But we're the first ones doing this, the founding fathers. Okay, let's just try to talk more about this and what we're seeing for October, because they wouldn't bring this through if it wasn't about October. Okay, let's just hold on a second here and see what I can bring through. The chartered path, this is interesting. The chartered paths are unknown. Now, that doesn't seem to make sense. If a path is chartered, you think it's mapped out, but they're unknown. You'll be guided to sow the one of your own in a way that aligns with the collective, which is why people are shifting around right now. There's a lot of shift and change happening with people, and this has been going on, but there's an uptick in this, is what I'm getting, like through the end of the year. It has to do, so here's what I get. A lot of people, I've seen this over the time I've been working, because I try to collect patterns of what happens with like my clients and people I know. There's a lot of kind of like wrap up stuff for the end of the year so we can launch into the new year. It's just kind of the way it is. So some of you may be closing out things, starting new things, or getting the idea of something's changing. You may feel it, but not fully know it. But a lot of us close a lot of things out before the end of the year and before we move into the new year. Now, again, I go back to the whole calendar thing. You can argue, well, we don't have the right calendar. We've made this calendar in that sense, okay? We are tied energetically to that calendar right now. So that's how it's working for us as we abide by it, and it created an energy around that, okay? So let's just go ahead and see. Okay, so we've got the founding fathers. So let's see what, we're traveling upstream. So we're not going with the flow. Okay, I'm just going to go with this. I don't know what this is even going to mean. You will be unknown to those that seek to sow disruption and trepidation in their way. You will be hidden from the scene. You are the underlying energy, the stream, the current that flows the stream. Now, what they're talking about is we are the current that moves the rest of the water, that moves the stream, that moves the collective. Okay, there's our metaphor. You will never flow in a straight line, curving and winding as you go, creating waves that have been foretold. On the shores, those will come, waiting for the rise of the sun. And with it they will see on the banks to be, when they will take launch too of their own boat traveling upriver with you. Understand that what you see has been foretold and is meant to be. Traveling in a time of uncertainty, but you know deep inside the trust and faith that is to be. Your journey is long and far and wide, and others join you from the evening tide. Stepping out, they do, from the shores. They look at you and they see the light in your eyes, traveling upstream. You do in time. Not the flow that is used to, that you've seen. The old ways are going, the old ways that are going downstream. You are moving with a pace, collecting others with grace. This is how the times to come will be built from your inner light, and then some. For you will create out, we say, of the things that you know and you wish in your day. For that is where all of goodness comes from too, the deep inside of all of you. And when you gather in your light, growing with so much might, No one can stop you, and you can see you will have help from the stars in time to be. And yet we know that you are here to be your own savior, and hold on so dear, for the tides will come and the waves too, but you will stay in your boat as you travel upstream to be true to your heart, and you'll know, as those that join you owe to sow the new times to come, we say, of light and love and higher consciousness in your way. You will see your journey far and wide, the cities sparkling by your side, for they will grow, and you will see a new time to come. And this is to be, for this time you are in now, we find, is what will create those days. You will look back and say, these were the days that we thought all was lost, and instead now you are no longer lost, and will find in your heart, we say, those times were meant that you are in today, to know that the struggle and the strife we find has built these cities of crystal and light, not in your mind, but yes, we say, on earth this day you are building this one crystal at a time in your way, the crystal from your heart of love, so true. Help one another, for it is your due. This is the time of grassroots we find. Look into each other's eyes and know that in your day-to-day you will know in kind that it is one for all and all for one. Driven back to the basics, we say, fighting upstream in your way, assisting one another, oh, bring together the evening tide. All step on to the waters, we say, as you flow upstream to create the new day. Okay, I'm going to stop because they're going to go on. Okay, what I'm very much, I feel a little dizzy right now. Okay, one of the things that they're bringing through right now is that we need to look into each other's eyes. Where can you bring your light in? We talk a lot about the metaphysical, the energetic, and whatnot. Where can you bring what you have created within to those without? In other words, to those without. Think about that. To those without. There are a lot without. Where can you? Maybe you are one of those people, right? You're feeling like you're in a time right now where you can't help yourself. This is where we need to, as light workers, really come together. Seek out people of like minds. Seek out people who need assistance. Seeking people out is what I keep getting. Like joining up, because when you join up in a 3D way, whatever that might mean, that might mean, I don't know, you donate to something, a food bank, you work to, I don't know, you go out and help at, I don't know, some children's organization. I don't know, but there's something going on with using what we have built up, this beautiful light in us, to actually share in the physical. And many of you are already doing that. And we do this when we don't even know it too. But I keep getting this conscious time of awareness and activation being presented out to the collective. So if that resonates with you, wow, we are the founding fathers of this new time to come. We're going to see in October, let's just see what we get in October here. So we have, November. Oh my gosh. Oh, see, I'm so behind. In November, what are we seeing here? It's a very bright light. I also am getting this idea that I never really I don't want to say bought into this, but that help is coming. Like we're not waiting for our savior. I've always gotten that. We are our saviors, okay? But there's an assistance that is arriving. Has the potential of arriving. It's not going to do things for us. It's arriving. It's not next year, though, I don't think. I don't know. It's potentially going to start to show itself next year. I just got the word trajectory. I don't know. Maybe that's the 3-eye atlas situation. But I think there's more than that coming our way. Light streams I just got. We're having more light, more pulsing. It's almost like the situation that I find is a lot of light pulsing into the planet, which we know is happening, but that there are others coming in. Okay, like they're readying, they're setting themselves up, okay? I I don't usually bring through this information. Setting themselves up like on the perimeter, I just heard. On the perimeter. It feels very much like a collaboration effort, but I don't know what that's going to look like. Again, it could be all energy. This is setting up in November for that is what I keep seeing. A whoosh of energy coming into setup for November. I don't know if you're going to feel it, if you're going to see it. This is always the tricky part, right? So much of this is energetics until, of course, it turns into something 3D, which could be years down the road, right? But we can also see things happen very, very quickly. So it's up in the air right now. Puzzle pieces, I still don't see the puzzle pieces coming together, okay? Because we're still in that time of things just up there, all right? This also has to do with the video that I want to put out that Jennifer and I redid, I should say, that I haven't had a chance to put out, where they spoke, and you'll see this in the video when I do get it out, is they spoke to this idea that, they've said this in the past, the Big Bang is all of us, all of this happening now, everything across the cosmos, all of what could ever happen and can be was created in that one Big Bang. I know that might sound super trippy, but what's happening now is this, and this is the puzzle pieces in there. It's the same thing. It's that explosion out of all that we could create and be. And what we're doing is we're expanding out, but we're contracting back into the oneness. So we're out here in this very, and when I say expansive, I'm talking energetically, Big Bang. But what we're doing is we're contracting back into the oneness through this process. I don't know if that's going to make any sense, but very much showing that remember how I said all the puzzle pieces up in the air? That's what we're talking about. Like, where are they going to land? But they're saying they're starting to contract back in to help us create the picture of the way forward is what I'm getting. This is the traveling upstream too. So this has felt like a very little confusing, but really riddly kind of energy update for November. I probably said October throughout this whole thing, and if I did, I'm sorry. The titles will be correct. But let me see if I can get anything else for November. Okay, they're talking about tribes will realign. Ooh, it's like tribal groups. Okay, they just said groundswell. I wonder, and I'm not connected in, but I wonder if the indigenous communities, tribal communities, are doing some kind of work through their ceremony and ritual for these times. I'm getting a real helpful underground swelling of vibration and energy. I don't know if that's coming from inner earth, but I am getting very much connected to the land. I wonder if any of the tribal communities, indigenous communities are knowing what's going on now, ceremonies and rituals, because it feels like there is an active force working for this, for the greater good, is what I keep getting. So this is kind of I don't want to say it's a random, I think it's very connected. Everything's connected here. But I do want you to understand the Founding Fathers part, which is very fascinating. Going up the Potomac, and this whole idea, I don't know if I told you, oh yeah, I did mention this about what had come through, and it's coming through again, is the Constitution, our system in the United States. Oh, I don't know. I hate to even say this, but I'm going to just say it because it's not me saying it. It's just like corrupt beginnings. But I guess, you could say, look what we did. We stole land. We're living on this land that we stole from others that had been living here for millennia. Okay, there's that, right? I mean, it can go on. We had slavery, the whole bit. And so there's something going on with this is all turning upside down. We're going through the difficulties right now, particularly in this country, to make people aware of what they do not want and what they do want. And many are being broken down through this process and becoming aware and awake. And how that transforms or transpires, I don't know, but I do know that visualization of going upstream, collecting those, going with us, is very, very, very vivid. Those coming from elsewhere on the perimeter, I'm getting. Again, they seem far away, but they're advancing. Okay, I just heard advancing. Yeah. Oh, many are here already. Okay, setting the stage. That makes sense. I mean, we know, I think many of you may know that just on the streets we have, I mean, we're all hybrids. But needless to say, there's an advanced team down here already. And we may have known that. But the perimeter is what I'm seeing out in the, not the earth, but way out, like advancing. And it's honestly, oh, okay, I got chills before I said this. It's really good energy. It feels good. We may not be sold on that as a collective. We may be sold something different. So what we have to go is with our hearts and minds in everything that we encounter. Everything. We need to go inward to know our answers outward. Okay, everybody. I think I'm going to leave you with this. Just know that November, I would say to you, we are advancing into the times for the new year. Continuing to do the work that you're doing, continuing to maintain your flow. Not this crazy thing we do and that is out there. We can't do that. We cannot do that. We need to bring ourselves back into a stable space, being able to, and we're all in different circumstances. I understand that completely. All in different circumstances. But continuing to follow your practices, adding to your practices, understanding that more now than ever, the things that soothe us, that help us go inward, that help us see the way forward, are the things to spend time on, and getting that balance in your journey, getting that balance in your life to help us with the way forward. So anyway, I'm going to leave that with you today. If there's anything else I'm going to add, I will add it in the next video, which will probably be me releasing Jennifer's and my conversation in another week or so. All right, everybody. I hope you took a little nugget of something away today, because frankly, that's what this is about, is what resonates with you for the story you're telling, right? For the story you're trying to understand, right? And again, it's about flowing into what is, continuing to work your journey, the parts that you can control, right? And assisting others when and where it makes sense, all right? So I'll leave you with my website. And again, thank you so much for joining me. It's purplerainhealing.com, where you can see all of my services, where I assist others in spiritual awakening mentoring, essentially life coaching as such, understanding their awakening journey, channeled messages, and energy healing. So again, I will see you in the next video. And I thank you so much for joining me. Happy November.